Hey there. Welcome back to Bloodborne. We've got something to give to our dear friend the doll. But first, let's check out the store and see what those badges got us. First and foremost, we can buy bolt paper and a bunch of other stuff now. More importantly though, we can buy Ludwig's Holy Blade, the main weapon of the first and most important of the church hunters. We can also buy his rifle, which I will be definitely picking up because Ludwig's rifle is very cool. And thanks to picking up the chalice, we can also buy the Tomb Prospector Guard. We're not going to be buying that right now, but maybe later. I like how it looks. We also have a bunch of new blood gems to put in our weapons, as well as a whole lot of twin stone shards. So, why don't we say hello to the Tonitrus? I love this thing. It's great. It's not necessarily a trick weapon in the same way that the others are. It's a little bit different, and you'll see once we start using it. And hey, what do you know? We've got just enough shards to keep our saw cleaver upgraded as well. The Tonitrus is interesting because it is a pure blunt attack weapon. There are no, like, slashing attacks or sharp attacks, etc. It's all beating shit with a giant metal ball. An electric metal ball. Now.
Welcome home, good hunter.
Thank you.
What is it you desire?
Well, I've got something for you. Mayhaps is this yours?
What is this? I can't remember. Not a thing, only I feel a yearning, something I never felt before. What's happening to me? Tell me, Hunter, could this be joy?
Very strange.
Welcome home. What is it? Very well. Let the echoes become your strength.
It seems the doll isn't just an emotional husk after all. I guess she really does have the ability to feel emotions. Very, very interesting.
Farewell, good hunter. May you find your worth in the waking world.
Thank you. We got a tear stone from the doll, which allows us to make a new blood gem that we'll see a little bit later. For now, let's go back to Cathedral Ward and get this show on the road. Oh, wait! First, let's go back to Old Yharnam. I swear, eventually we'll go to Cathedral Ward. I promise. Oh, we've just got a little bit more running around to do. Because, I mean, think about it. When we came from the front, we encountered a certain form of adversity. But you gotta wonder, what would happen if we came from the back of Old Yharnam? And hey, here we are. This is that door that was locked before. The one near the boss arena. So that's kind of cool. It allows you to enter into this area from behind. And there's really no reason to do it, actually. There's, like, I guess doing it this way, you could circumvent the whole area and just go fight the Bloodstarved Beast. But I don't know. It seems like that's... It seems like that would be a bad route to take. Because that would be a lot harder. Because you'd have to spend all your souls on the Hunter Chief emblem to go the long way around. I don't know. It's cool that they let you, but I don't really know what purpose it serves besides, you know, connecting the areas in a logical way to show you what parts of the game world Yahar Ghul connects to. And hey, speaking of... Now, I didn't want to take on the Gatling gun guy initially, because he is a very tough fight. But the other reason that I didn't want to take him on, besides the fact that I would get owned by him, is he's a very interesting character in that if you don't approach from the front, he won't be hostile to you. Hello. What's up?
Well, well. How did you get in here? It's no matter. What brings you to old Yharnam? I've no interest in matters further up. But you must not disturb this place. The beasts do not venture above, and mean no harm to anyone. If you still insist on hunting them, then I will hunt you first. You understand me?
Loud and clear. I am a friend to beasts. Promise. Pinky swear.
Yes, very good. I no longer dream, but I was once a hunter too. There's nothing more horrific than a hunt. In case you fail to realize, the things you hunt, they're not beasts. They're people. One day you will see. It's time you got going. But first, a farewell gift. I have no use for it anyway.
Hey, thanks. Hey! Why don't we just brush off that dust then? Oh, that's so cool.
What is it? Surely I need not repeat myself? Go, I say. You have the whole night to dream. Make the best of it.
Fascinating. It seems all hunters dream, or go to the dream at least. So let's do what he says and get right back to it. Cathedral Ward. Finally. Feels like I've been putting this off for a long time. It's like I said in the last episode, there are a lot of plot diversions in Bloodborne. There's a lot of, I don't know. There's a lot of areas that distract you from the main plot. But to be fair, what is our main plot right now, really? Make it to the cathedral. Like, that's all we gotta do. And then we will be cured, and then we can go home. Short game. So the Tonitrus is pretty cool. It's just like a mace. It is an electric mace. And if you hit the transform button, the weapon will not transform into a different state. It will buff itself with electricity, and it will gain a lot of electric scaling and do quite a bit more damage. So let's do this the right way. Last time I came through here, I did it the slightly more, maybe not cheaty way, but the way that circumvents most of the interesting stuff about this shaft here. And hey look, another messenger hat. I'll take it. There's a couple different ways to make it to the bottom of this area alive, and it will require at least 2 trips in order to get all of the items, but I don't really care. I really like that right here they really give you no choice but to just kind of drop off into the darkness. It's a nice reminder of Bloodborne's lack of fall damage. Although you will die if you fall too far in that shaft. As I know very well. I really like the look of this area. I like how it's just like a little pocket of Cathedral Ward where it's like reminiscent of Central Yharnam a little bit, with the winding streets and the buildings surrounding all sides. and all that stuff. I think it's kind of cool. It shows you that these cities have mostly the same design philosophy surrounding them, both in the game and in universe, but also that, like, I hesitate to say you can tell they were designed by the same people, but you get what I mean when I say that. They're different, but similar. Finally getting my revenge on this guy. I kind of wish that I hadn't died to Dark Beast Parl, because my souls would still be here. If I hadn't died, obviously that kidnapper would have my souls. But it was not meant to be so, because Dark Beast Parl is a pretty tough opponent. This area has also got some weird ambience. There's like a weird low rumbling, which don't really understand. It's eerie, but it's also like, I don't know, maybe it's just the sewers making that noise. New clothes. There aren't any gloves for this outfit. Ugh. This is the outfit that generic Yharnam townies wear, and hey, why not? We might as well. Although I think they look better with Gascoigne's pants, so we're gonna be wearing this around for a while. I am so sorry. Also, they're sweaty. Like, I feel like they didn't need to be sweaty. They didn't need to specify that the clothes were sweaty before I put them on. I don't know. I feel like that was a bit of an unnecessary detail. I like that even in just a normal town place, like, even in the middle of a street, there are gravestones just lining the street everywhere. It really gives a good, sense of Yharnam's, city layout. They really should have put more effort into their graveyard building, you know? Like, there really should be, I don't think there's a single graveyard in this entire game. And it's like, you'd think the city would allocate more of their budget to that. If they have a budget, I don't even know. Like, surely souls haven't been the currency for all eternity. Like, what about when it was just a normal town before people could get souls? Did they use shining coins? Because they seem a bit rare for that. I don't know, maybe I'm thinking too hard about it. And hey, look! This little detour has plopped us on the other side of all of the gates, which means that now we can access the rest of Cathedral Ward. Cool. And I'm actually a little bit annoyed at Cathedral Ward's layout, because this gate is the first one we can open of the 3 in the area. But it's kind of weird, because going the intended plot route brings you to the back of the area. So, we are now going to go through Cathedral Ward kind of backwards, because I opened a side gate just now, but we are about to open the last gate in front of the boss next, and it's very strange. I really have no idea why they laid it out like that. That might just be, oh geez. That might just be how the level design worked. How it all worked out with their, laying out the shortcuts and stuff, but, I don't know. It's very weird. Also, Ludwig's rifle. Probably one of my favorite guns in the game, because it is our first hybrid gun. Well, technically the rifle spear is our first hybrid gun, but I haven't used it. And I probably won't be using it. It is our first hybrid shotgun and pistol. Rifles are not a specific, they're not a specific class of weaponry. but they have their own like little subset. I really like the view you get from up here. I don't know. A really clear view of central Yharnam. But anyway, it is a shotgun with a really tight spread, which means that it's good for like getting right up in enemies' faces and just like melting them. So we definitely going to be getting up close and personal. I like shotguns slightly less than I like the pistols, because the shotguns obviously are slower, but they have quite a bit more insurance, let's say, for when you mess up a hit. Now, I've got a lot of souls on me, so let's go back to the dream and spend them, because I feel nervous carrying them around. It's getting to the point where souls are starting to matter a little bit. Also, let's put on some, like, actual clothes that's not that. I think the hunter garb and the Yharnam hunter garb is going to become my standby for this playthrough, just because they look good with your, like, they just look good wearing anything. Like, they look nice with any equipment. So it's time to say goodbye to the doll clothes. I know, inside you're screaming right now as I sell this outfit, but it gave me like 30,000, souls. So, you know. So I decided to compromise a bit, because I don't want to go through Cathedral Ward backwards. It's so weird that they have you do that, and I feel like it ruins a little bit of the atmosphere of the area, that you end up going through the level in, like, the opposite order of how it is quote-unquote intended. So, selling the doll clothes, which I wasn't going to wear anyway, allows me to buy the Hunter Chief emblem, so that I can show you both entrances.
May you find your worth in the waking world.
And that was not my goal all along. I actually was going to go through it backwards the first way, but then I was like, no, I just feel like I should show off both, because why not? So I'm going to do that. We're going to go through Cathedral Ward the right way. Old lady still doesn't want to talk to us. So the Hunter Chief emblem is a really dumb pun, and I'll give you a second to think of what the item is and what its name is before I tell you what the pun is. So, okay, the Hunter Chief emblem it belongs to the leader of the hunt. And bringing it back to Cathedral Ward is a sign that the hunt has concluded, and the gates can be opened again. For the general public to hang out, walk around again, live their lives, not in fear of beasts. But it's also a handkerchief, you see. So it's the Hunter Chief emblem, but it means, like, chief in the sense of the leader of the hunt, and also a handkerchief. You see, the name could be either. And I have to wonder, I actually was wondering that, you know, after I read, I was like, that has to be an intentional pun, right? And I looked it up, and it's called the same thing in Japanese, I believe, so who knows? Well, now we're in Cathedral Ward. Finally. I'm gonna take back what I said a little bit. I said that I didn't like how the area is laid out, but what I do like about it is that it's relatively open, in that there's a couple of ways to get from the start of the area to the boss. So I will praise Cathedral Ward for that, even though the general layout feels very strange. There's also a lot of enemies in this area that only appear here. Like that flamethrower guy is the only one in the entire game, I think. If there are more of that flamethrower guy, I can't remember them. There might be one like way later. I don't remember. But either way, like, there's a lot of enemies here that don't appear anywhere else, which is very strange. It leads me to think that Cathedral Ward probably was 2 areas, because it's segmented basically in half. It makes me think that Cathedral Ward probably was 2 areas, and then they combined it into one. Like normal Cathedral Ward, and then like upper Cathedral Ward, or something like that. Very foggy. Again, blame the sewers. Anyone home?
You're not from around here, are you? Well, an outsider who's come to join the hunt? What a pathetic idea. You what? What, you think I'm a beast? Well, maybe I think you're a beast. And step away from my castle.
Well, fine, dick. I'd want to send you to the church anyway.
Oh my, what a queer scent. I shall take it over the stench of blood and beasts any day. What is it then? I'm off during hunts, and besides, this is no place for ladies. Wouldn't want to drag you down too. Oh, thank goodness. You're a hunter, aren't you, dear? Might you know of a safe place? The night is long and I've very little of the incense left. Please, there must be some nice place to run off to.
Oh, absolutely. To the chapel with you.
Oh, thank you, dear. Perhaps I'll see you there.
Oh, I'm sure you will. I've been going there a lot lately. How about you? Have you changed your tune any?
Oh, enough of you. What, you think this is funny? Well, I certainly don't, so be gone with you. I'll have nothing to do with your beast stunts.
Oh, this guy's a jerk.
What's this 2-bit nonsense you're peddling? I heard you told that wench about some shelter. Well, she's a damn fool to trust an outsider. Never why? Well, her sort's probably just fixing to feed some of your coin. Alright, what crafty lies does the outsider have today? You think I'm an easy mark? Yeah? Well, give me your best shot.
You sound like you could use a blood transfusion, my friend. Settle down a little bit.
Yeah, sorry, too sharp for that bollocks. I know a superstition when I hear one. Outsiders, even their lies are predictable.
Alright, suit yourself, I guess. Some people just have no manners. He and that old lady would get along quite well, if we could convince him to come to the chapel. Sheesh. I guess these cramped streets are pretty good for ambushes. What is that he's holding? Is that just like a piece of a table? I feel like that's what that is. It's just a random piece of table. I was about to make a really dumb Metallica joke. James Hetfield, professional table. You should look that up if you don't know what I mean by that. It's time for new clothes. Yeah. Looking very fancy. I like those little fashionable wings on the scarf. Knock, knock.
Oh, we've the deepest gratitude for the church and all they do for us. Deepest, widest gratitude. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Note to self, going door to door may be a bad idea.
Praise you. Praise the old damn church. And best of luck hunting. Best luck of all.
Thanks, I guess. I mean, we have been pretty successful so far. There certainly haven't been many failures on my part, although I don't feel like I'm getting anywhere. Mostly feel like I'm just spinning my wheels here, but, you know. Ouch! Just get shot in the head. That's fine. Getting shot in the head doesn't hurt as much as I thought it would. Yeah! So that's what the Tonitrus does. You can buff it, make it do like crazy high damage, which I explained earlier, but we didn't see it in action. One thing about Ludwig's rifle that kind of drags it down a little bit, it's the same with the blunderbuss actually, and other shotgun style weapons, is that they, you can't move for a little bit longer after you fire. So you have a very, very narrow window to get a visceral attack after you get a parry off, which is, ooh, it makes things quite a bit more stressful, which again is part of the reason why they are a little bit better for really close range, is because, you know, it lets you close the distance a little easier, a little more quickly. Ugh. What the hell is that? I don't even want to know. I know I've been saying that quite a bit recently, but there are so many things going on that I want nothing to do with. Oh man, look at that. Look at those skirt physics going up that ladder. Hell yeah. That's next gen right there. So hey, we can get a pretty good look at the whole area here. Pretty cool. Nice big courtyard. Good for PvP, I guess. Although this area is really weird about co-op. Maybe I'll explain that in a little bit. That is a very, like, old school church thing, isn't it? Churches don't really have adages anymore. I'm sure there are a lot of churches in this world that once had adages but no longer do. Maybe that's a bad thing for a church to have an adage. Like, maybe if a church has an adage, you should get out of there. I don't know. It's not something I have experience with. So this is the final gate. That area over there, the area I was just looking at, is the path to the other gate, which, again, very strange. Like, the two gates lead directly towards each other, and then the boss is right up those stairs. Or rather, the end of the area. I mean, obviously there's gonna be a boss, because, I mean, look at the staircase. But yeah, like, it's weird. There's also a bunch of really tough enemies over there, so we're not gonna go over there right now. Instead, we're gonna, you know, just gonna hang out. Gonna fight all these giants. I can use the extra souls. Plus, the Tonitrus makes pretty short work of them. Well, relatively short anyway. Well, I think that'll about do it for now. I'll see you next time, when we finally reach the Grand Cathedral, get our blood transfusion, and leave Yharnam for good. Hopefully. So, the stake driver. The stake driver is one of my personal favorite weapons in the game, for a reason you'll see in just a second. The stake driver is the weapon wielded by Jura, and we got it for getting the Powder Keg Hunter badge, or whatever it's called, from him. I hardly ever pick it up, so I frequently forget the name of it. You can get it by killing him, or making him friendly. The stake driver is pretty much the pile bunker. You know the pile bunker? But also, it can explode enemies, because that's cool. It's very hard to land a hit with the explosion, but let me tell you, it feels very, very satisfying to do so. Overall, this thing's pretty satisfying in general. Like, it's just fun to beat stuff up with it. The untransformed mode is some really long, slow, swings, and the transform mode is basically just straight up socking people right in the jaw with it. How does it fare when fighting groups? It sucks. It's not very good at fighting groups because you have to get in real close to hit stuff with it. But overall, I like this thing. I really like it. I would have used it in the main playthrough, but I just don't have the right kind of stat build for it. The stake driver is great. It is a great weapon, and an example of how Bloodborne's weapons are very, very unique. Yharnam is not a democracy, nor does it have a royal monarchy. It's not an autocracy, or a plutocracy, or any ocracy. As far as I can tell, it has no governing party at all. If anything, it's sort of like a municipality. It's run by one group entity, but not in the same way as a government. Yharnam may very well not even have laws outside of official dictations. We know very little of how it all actually works. The game doesn't really go into it, because obviously there's really no room to discuss Yharnam's state of political alignment. The general idea, though, is that Yharnam functioning as a town relies on its leaders being revered and respected, and the question then becomes, what happens if they aren't? The reason I ask this is because Bloodborne asks it too. Central Yharnam, much like old Yharnam before it, is run by the Healing Church in Cathedral Ward. It's unclear whether Yharnam or Cathedral Ward was there first, but the church is responsible for the continued existence of both districts. Long ago, possibly multiple generations of people before the game's events, Yharnam became the home of blood ministration. I present to you now a theory of mine, which sounds probable to me, but it may not to you. When the church set up shop in Yharnam, high above the hamlet down in the gorge, they came bearing magical, mystical, mysterious miracles of healing blood, and the citizens surely didn't take too well to the idea of jamming blood from random people into their bodies. But to the church's higher-up members, who we'll discuss a bit later, they were little more than subjects waiting to be used for research. We know as much from the Church Hunter set. Here comes the theory. We know now of the Ashen Blood sickness, which ravaged old Yharnam, turned humans into beasts, and racked the whole town with a nigh incurable disease. How convenient it is, then, that the Healing Church just so happened to have recently moved in, and just so happened to hold the cure for the sickness that was killing its citizens. Blood ministration. But you can see where this is going. We also know that something is wrong with the church's healing blood. It's infected with a plague of some sort that turns humans into a different kind of beast than the Ashen Blood, something more canine and, werewolf-like. People sought the healing blood the church provided, then turned into beasts and attacked. And then more people needed the healing blood, and then turned into beasts, and so on and so on. And so, the Healing Church Workshop was created, to produce tools for fighting the beasts, because it was far too late to stop them from cropping up. We'll learn more about that in a separate bonus feature later on in the Let's Play, but for now, all you need to know is that the church's hunters functioned much as we do now. They went around slaying beasts in secrecy, to keep the underlying horror they'd inflicted on Yharnam, intentionally or not, under wraps. As we will learn going forward, the church is directly responsible for almost everything that's happened in Yharnam, but we've only peeled back the first layer of their mounting number of screw-ups. There are many, many more to go.